at the end of the day, we did it to ourselves.
I would prefer no signings and a new coach over Arnie with another 500 million.
I think,
Remarkable the job he's done to
I
actually
think
keep them at the top.
I would have to say for me, Maguire and Trent are just the two big ones.
Hey guys, welcome back to the TVG podcast. We're back and the Premier League season is done. We're finally done with that Premier League season. I think me and Graham are both absolutely thrilled to be moving on to the World Cup. Um, but we do have to talk one last time about how both of our teams finished, how the table finished. What did you think of West Ham's game? The season as a whole for you guys. What do you guys? What's the next step? What's the next year looking like?
Yeah, I think it's tough. Obviously, nobody wants to see their team get relegated or go down, but at the end of the day, we did it to ourselves. People can complain. I saw a lot of people complaining about how Everton played, and I'll be honest with you, I don't put any blame on Everton. It was out of our hands going into the last day, and yes, we 3-0 win at home, but at the same time, two wins in our last five is not setting yourself up for success. And you know what? I think I just read today Nuno is going to be back for next year, and I know he actually got Wolves back up. I think it was 2018 with almost
Hmm.
100 points. So I think I was more frustrated going into the final weekend, but I'm in a sense I think a bit relieved it's done now. It's been like we said, kind of a stressful few weeks, and it sucks. But you know what? I think get to go see Millwall away next year will be a
Yeah.
interesting experience. So, but yeah, you know what? It sucks, but I'm ready for the World Cup and the Premier League. Yeah. So I mean, how about you now that obviously Slot's gonna get a summer now, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've moved on to the point of acceptance in your journey here this season. I couldn't be further from acceptance in terms of how the season turned out. I mean, obviously, our both of our team seasons were bad for very different reasons. Um, I think a lot about. I don't even want to talk much about the game as I more want to talk about the send offs. You know, it's sad seeing Salah and Robbo go, and there's a lot of emotional moments behind that, but. Arnie didn't join in the lap of clapping the fans. He seems pretty ostracized from the club, and there seems to be this notion now that it's been unbelievably toxic from the outside looking in. But I think that's all been created by the fact that we've stayed stagnant. We've decided to not make a decision on Arnie at all, or I should say, decided to make the decision to keep him on for next season. And I've said this on Twitter a couple times. I would prefer no signings and a new coach over Arnie with another 500 million. That's just maybe that's counterproductive. I can't have him at the club anymore. It's just not. I feel completely emotionally completely detached emotionally from what the team comes off as, and just the last week having to deal with the Salah stuff again, despite the fact we should just be sending him off as a legend. Like he's the last. He's the next one on from Gerrard in terms of legends to me, and that's impossible to recreate. He got another record on this final day, getting an assist. So I'm just happy to be done with the season. The issue is that eventually I'm just gonna have to deal with it. It's like a pile of clothes in the corner of my room that I haven't done laundry on, because eventually I'm gonna have to address it. But for now, I'm just excited for the World Cup to start. I'm excited for this season to be done. Um,
I saw today Robertson's going to Spurs. Saw that was
yeah, I
kind
saw that just recently as well. I mean, that I think that was in January. I heard about that, so I was kind of prepared for that. He's allowed to go wherever he'd like. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Deserby, I guess he's come in and you could see some of the interviews. I know Madison said he thinks there's a chance it could have gone down if he hadn't been in there, but also at the same time, look at the amount of players. And I think honestly, like Spurs, you can like hate on them, but I think a lot of them even said like disgraceful season where we're lucky to
yeah.
be where we are, and I think a lot's got to change.
Mm.
Obviously, I mean, I do wish they'd gone down instead of us, but at the same time, like I think even with how some of like I know a lot of the fans are upset with Bowen's message. I know Suchek put out a message as well. Not to get off the topic of Liverpool, but I
No, no,
think,
no. Keep going, please.
but no, again, I think there's going to be, in my opinion, we're going to lose. I think a bunch of players. I know Fernandez. There's talk with United. I was seeing that as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Bowen goes. I'll be quite honest with you. I obviously Diazy from Chelsea, he's not coming back. I think there may
Yeah.
have been a chance of him staying if we had stayed up, but obviously he's in my opinion he's not a championship level player. I think Somerville's gone for sure, so I think there's going to be a real
Uh,
switch. But at the same time, we're at London Stadium too, so I think expectations without a doubt for me at least next year is it's got to be first or second. Even if some of the
just an
guys go
automatic
down,
place. Just an
it just
automatic place back up
it
is
just has to be. And like I think the biggest takeaway, obviously I'm not there in England, but I think just even from like watching on TV, even like with my uncle who's huge
Mhm.
West Ham, just like the lack of passion and with London Stadium and all of that. And I just think, I mean, I could say I would be happy with the relocation, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And I
more
think like
realistic. Yeah.
yeah, like we said, West Ham's kind of become more of a commercialized club. I think just on the sense of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm done with this season. I've had enough. It was a like I think I literally said like another it was like another summer of praying West Ham don't get relegated, and I'm eating my words now. But it's
Sometimes it's the thing a club needs in terms of a reshuffle and a re-expectation of how the teams to perform and how you guys can grow from like a youth position because you're gonna have to obviously get some players in that are kind of the championship fringe Premier League level, or some guys who can really grow into something and be a little bit more patient with them, but actually grow into something bigger than the sum of its parts. The issue with the championship I always find is for these big teams who come down is, coming down, if you look at the three teams coming down, you'd probably say West Ham and Wolves would be based on the end of the season. Those are the
yeah
two teams most likely to go back up. But Burnley has a great success rate in yo-yoing, which is valuable. It's not
yeah
valuable in staying up, but it certainly is valuable in yo-yoing. And then you have teams down there like Southampton, like Middlesbrough, who narrowly missed out. Millwall didn't have a bad year, and they typically finish like anywhere between third and eighth, and always challenge. And you have surprise packages every single season in the championship. You got 24 teams who all think, not all, but I'd say the top half think, if we can get into that top six, let's see what we can do. So that
for
top
sure.
two is tougher. It's tougher than simply saying it's West Ham. They'll be back up. It's
Oh
how
yeah.
you guys take advantage of this next season is really important for the long term future.
I think the tough thing too with relegation also is you have a lot of guys who you're going to lose value on and you're going to lose money now that like obviously they're leaving. And I saw like Bowen, I think he's been linked with Brighton. I think I saw
Uh-huh.
Newcastle. Obviously, we'll get into it later, but I know Anthony Gordon seems to be out the door at Newcastle now, so I think that's kind of another situation of where what are they going to do?
Fab just
But-
tweeted about it actually.
yeah, but at the same time, it's also like Hull City going back up with Bowen. You never know. Like there's the chance, and
That's an interesting storyline. I mean, it's tough, right? When you're in that relegation battle, I don't know. At Bowen's age, it almost feels like I know it feels like Bowen should be going based on his age, but I mean, if West Ham actually offer him something that he enjoys in terms of a wage, he has won that Conference League with you guys,
yeah,
and he kind of feels like the only version of Mr. West Ham in that team right now because Somerville's going to be gone. The Somerville just made the Netherlands team
so
and kicked out not kicked out. I don't know if it's a one for one, but Frimpong's not in there. I mean, he's
yeah,
a good player, and he's going to
just
go somewhere, and obviously selling him at a lesser price sucks. But
yeah.
there's going to have to be a fair few players who actually stay here to have that base. And I do like. I think I would trust Nuno to get it right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't want anyone else at this point. But I think with Bowen too, like you're the club captain as well. I think the big thing for Bowen will be obviously he's kind of been in and out of the England squad, and obviously not making the World Cup team. I don't think it's a huge shock. To be honest with you.
No,
Obviously you can root for him during the year, but I just think obviously with how he's played and all of that. But at the same time, like does he stay down and you try and come back up? But if you do that, you are sacrificing your England call up for sure.
yeah,
But at the same time, there's no Euros next year. There's no big international competition. I don't, yeah, not that I'm aware of. So it's like if there is a year for him to stay and maybe, but at this, then again, like if you're out of it. So I think, and it also comes with age and where he's at. I really think it's 50-50, but I'm not, I don't know if you can be upset with him if he goes. I'll be honest
No,
with you.
because it's all about Max.
For
Yeah,
me, I'm not. You're gonna have the diehards. Oh, he's a traitor. He's gonna boo him and all this. It's like, look, he scored biggest goal the club's had.
it's a
We
big
won.
part of your guys' history the last 5 years.
Yeah, we went. I'm not mad. Did he have poor performances this year? Yes, but so did a lot of other people, and I'm appreciative of Bowen either way, and I totally get it. I think he's just got to, at this point, kind of do what's going to be best for his career, and I would understand that. But like, I think Suchek will stay. I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I don't
He'd be
really.
a great guy to have stay.
Yeah, and just from the kind of the messaging and everything I've seen, but again, I'm done with it. I'm ready to focus on the World Cup, and it's just it's a shame. It's weird, honestly. It's
Yeah.
weird, and I think that's what some of my even like we've talked about in friends are just like at the beginning of the year you wouldn't have guessed just with it's just gone like this, and then ever since Colin just like back down.
It
So
was just a bad I mean, you guys had a rough first half of the year.
oh
And it's
yeah,
really
like
difficult to go get Nuno and then ask him to just make a miracle happen
we
when
need a
you guys
top.
are struggling and don't have the personnel to really make teams fear you on the attack. Because a lot of these setups down the stretch of the year were him sitting in a little bit more and then trying to hit teams on the counter.
Yeah.
Which again doesn't play to strengths that I mean Bowen's been playing that for a while, but if you're not performing well, then you're actually getting limited chances um, going forward. It's just it's a sad story for West Ham, but I think you guys will be back up. It's tough to predict anything in the championship, but I like that you guys kept Nuno. And a lot of the championship teams cycle through various different managers, whether that's like a Scott Parker or that kind of ilk of coach that comes in
Yeah.
when a Premier League coach doesn't want to come in. And the last thing I'll say about Bowen actually is that the big reason I think he could leave is because specifically his age, he's looking for his last big contract. So if you have you have a club who's kind of a Premier League stalwart of the last 5 to 10 years come in and offer you a 2 3 year deal, you're probably gonna take that
And
realistically.
statistically, he had a good wasn't a bad.
Statistically, he was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like assists and all of that. But again, I think it's just he's got to come down to is it West Ham's my club. I'm not going anywhere. And again, I think it's one of those situations with any professional. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing. Fans are going to be mad if you stay or you go. It's not like because if you stay, someone will be like, why don't we sell him? We need the money. And then if he goes, it's like, oh, he's a traitor. He's on here. But again, that could be like any team or anything, right?
Yeah.
It's just the nature that comes with it. And but yeah, either way, I think. I don't know when all this is going to go down. Like it's just the transfers. It's like it's already starting now, right? And then so
It
could be.
starts so quickly, like right off the bat when the season's done.
There's
It's
no
like
off
all I
season.
hear about it, and personally, like I'm a Twitter guy, but I hate being on Twitter in the middle of the summer when there's no international soccer because it's just like, what am I gonna? I don't care to hear where everyone's going every single day. I like being informed on it, um,
I just,
but I'm not one of those guys who's like looking forward to the transfer window just
I
for the
just,
purpose of the transfer window.
I just think with the evolution of social media and obviously Fabrizio Romano. I mean, I don't bash him because everyone, some
Mhm.
people like complain you ruin and the surprise because that's how it used to be. It would just be a bomb was dropped. And you're like,
Or
oh,
Ozil.
because
People
you
reference
don't
Ozil, yeah.
yeah we used to not really hear what would go on behind the scenes and now it's just pretty much like you're
It's
hearing every stage
instantaneous.
it's like
Yeah.
okay this club's interested in this player okay now we're in the stage they've reached out now
Yeah.
they're personal terms now like it's almost like you hear every single little detail so the surprise factor I mean like it's pretty much just the first thing now with Gordon but again like today there's
hmm
been like 4 or 5 posts from Barca are interested okay Barca are going for it personal teams agreed okay now he's going on Thursday and it's like holy cow but
I
then
even hear
I'm
about teams who may try to hijack. Like I heard about Robertson. Like Juve
Bayern are in it.
wanted to hijack Robertson's deal.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
it's
know.
like you hear everything nowadays, where it's like there's almost like a figurehead of each sport. I can't really remember who in the NFL does it, but the NBA has Shams, soccer has Fabrizio
Fabrizio.
Romano.
NHL,
Um,
I have absolutely. I don't watch hockey, so I have no
there's
idea.
a lesser kind of demand for that, but it's probably somebody from TSN that we if we heard the name we go, oh, I've heard of him. So there's like
Ron
different guys who
McLean.
just break this stuff and that's all their job is, and it does take the fun out of it a little bit. Like the Ozil deal where Arsene Wenger's asked in like the third match day. This was a long time ago. Wenger's asked, "Oh, are you guys done doing your business for the summer?" And there's only a day left in the transfer window, and he's like, "You'll see tomorrow." And a lot of times managers will say that doesn't come across, and then Ozil the next morning is in the Arsenal kit, and that was such a huge deal because he was a big Real Madrid player. Um, like the fun of that is kind of taken away from it. And
Yeah,
it's just
it's
everyone wants to be in the know now. I don't care for it. everyone wants to be the in the know. Everyone wants to be like a good source of information and get the scoop early. It's not my thing. I just don't like it.
You're gonna hear about it one way or another now. It's like I'm seeing all this stuff with like the Real Madrid. Obviously, Mourinho's in there now, but I know there's the presidential elections going on, and the one guy who's up for, he's like, we
Yeah.
already have two guaranteed superstars who are gonna come that people will be blown by. It's like, you know what? I don't know. That whole scene's just a nightmare in my opinion. But I'm kind of like it's whatever happens. Happens. So
It's fun. It's a merry-go-round of different sort of like sports in general is the best reality show you could possibly watch. Each sport has its own sort of reality show
yeah.
aspects to it that you're just like you wouldn't even believe it if it was on the show and if it was convoluted and contrived. But one other thing I wanted to mention was I thought Pep's goodbye. I mean, kind of in comparison with ours, like with Salah and Robertson, that was a good goodbye. And
I saw
I'm
there was like the parade or whatever, but I didn't really look into it too much. But yeah, I
well,
think
they're naming the new stand they put up the Pep Guardiola stand, and obviously
it,
for how much he's turned around that club's fortunes over the last 10 years. I mean, he wasn't there for Aguero or anything, but they were on the downturn. They had another West Ham. They had a West Ham coach. They had Pellegrini for a little bit there, and they couldn't really get it over the line after 2014, and they were looking like they were fizzling out as a team. And he came in and say what you want about the obnoxious amount of spending because it's there. It's impossible to ignore that. But the level he reached, there's not many managers with the exact same amount of spending that will be able to keep a team like that at the top for as many years and that consistent at 99 points. Sorry, 98 points and 100
yeah.
points and 92 points and 89 points. And like these are uh, unbelievable feats regardless of how much he spent. And I'm actually interested to see what the happens with the 115 charges, if anything. But
That I don't think anything's gonna happen with that. I'll be if you ask for my opinion, but I'll be
yeah,
honest with you. I think it's like with Man City. Like I agree with you on like how much he spends like crazy, but it's also like with what they spent, they got what they needed to. Like it's
hmm
how many prems did they win in a row again? Was it three or four?
four, which
Yeah.
had never
So,
been done before, and spend as much money as you'd like. And like let's put it this straight,
but
like it's wrong how much they spent. Clearly, they've cooked the books in some sort of fashion to get this the way it was. Like there's no question. I will say though, I don't think another manager can keep. You know this more than anyone. Like, how can you keep a team who's won it all, who's had it all, engaged to still be as focused as they are when they won the last one for 4 straight years, culminating in a treble that you've been chasing, right? Like it's
yeah, I think
remarkable the job he's done to
I
actually
think
keep them at the top.
I think the big thing too, I think it was it's like the City Prime Video, like they really like go into I think like the mentality of like the players because obviously
hmm
there's like a lot in the goals they want to reach and all of that. But yeah, you know what? Again, I think it's going to be an interesting summer for City because you have a lot of guys, important guys leaving. Like
hmm
obviously now it's like you flushed out Kevin De Bruyne, you flushed out Bernardo Silva, John Stones. Like these are guys who are like there.
Yeah,
I think I've seen Rodri likely could be going to Real Madrid.
Holland could go in the next couple of years as well.
I
He
don't
wants to be
think
at the top of his game.
I think Holland stays one more year. I know his contract's for a while, but you know what, Enzo, what's his name, Enzo Mares or whatever. Yeah, I think
Maresca,
he's
yeah.
like they've kind of had him like there since like Pep was kind of rumored before he
Uh-huh.
re-signed for another
Yeah, yeah,
year. And I think if anything, you do Vincent Company would have been the other option. But again, he's thriving with Bayern, so I think he's gonna be there. But again, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. City, it's gonna be they've got some great pieces like brought in, like it's without a doubt.
I
But
mean, they'll be fine in terms of quality
but
standpoint.
I
Obviously, they'll drop, but it's going to be tough for them to come
Yeah,
off
I think
this.
it's going to be similar to next year. Will be similar to Pep's first year. I know they didn't win any titles. I think that was his first win. This remember,
Mhm.
they brought in Leroy Sané, they brought in those younger guys, and it's kind of like a mix. And again, what Enzo Mares did with Chelsea too, like he got his sacking was shocking. I
Yeah.
still can't believe they let him go. So I think he needs to kind of figure out what play style. I mean, it's going to be similar to Pep, but I think Pep's one of the more demanding managers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can never count City out, and with the players they have, But I think Savinho's out too. I think he's going to Spurs too. I was reading that
Mhm.
again. Those talks are, um, what do you call
Wow,
it?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be a really interesting situation to see what happens with City. I just don't think you can match. Like you can have a kick on, like what happened with us after the Jurgen Klopp tenure was the following year we ended up winning the league because we had the same core, and the only transfer we made in was Chiesa, and then we had nothing come out, or very little come out. I think no, Kelleher was still there. Yeah, we had very little come out, so we actually had a net positive in transfer that summer leading up to the league title. But what you had was a team who had been there before, a number of guys, and a team who had been gelling for like 2 or 3 years. So despite the fact Klopp's out, his standards stay in. Whereas I think Pep is actually losing a bunch of players on his departure. So I think like a year like next year would be like, you know, if they ended up finishing fourth or fifth, that'd be fine. That'd be fine if you look back. Obviously, they want to stay at the top, and they'll probably spend
Yeah.
big on some players, maybe some youth, maybe more focused on building up a new team for the future. But it's just not easy seeing Pep go and then continuing on what that is. What's going
Arguably the
on there?
best, arguably one of the best managers ever, right? So I think any
He's
club's
right
gonna
up there. He's in the at least the top three,
you gotta have a
very
bit,
least the
you're
top
gonna have a
three.
bit of wiggle room, and I think, but at the same time, like I think Foden obviously being left out of the World Cup, I think extra motivation for him to kind of show. You gotta remember too, PFA Player of the Year. Like I dislike how people just off like a couple one bad
Yeah,
year and like oh he's terrible and all this. I'm like man that guy like. But
I
yeah,
think the bit.
that's how it is. I don't know. Again, like Grealish comes back from Everton, he's out the door probably. I would assume, but again, you never
Maybe,
know. Like
maybe not. Maybe he just stays.
it,
He's on a big contract, right? Like,
so yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and I think I'm excited for next year. I think that I would say obviously Arsenal are there for the favorites. You can say that again, but I think
yeah,
it'll be really interesting to see how a lot of these. I mean, Chelsea's got to really figure it out. Xabi Alonso is coming in, and he's gonna get that's
that's gonna need
young
a little bit of time
a
as well,
young
right?
team still, but again, like how long are we calling young guys? Like how like what is how long is that excuse really going to work? Because you look at Lamine Yamal, 16, was in thriving. Now he's what 18, 19. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like the pressure. The Chelsea, like Chelsea's a big club. No, you can hate on it, but it's
They
yeah,
are. I mean, like it's been a while since Abramovich took over, right? Like this is not
yeah,
20 plus years of them being really good, or at
no,
least up and playing in
and
big European competitions.
it's like Chelsea now. There's no European championships or European competition, sorry. So it's like, all right, we're all in on the league for FA
That'll
Cup.
be interesting, actually. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a big thing. And again, you don't know what with like Villa as well, right? I'm seeing Rodgers is linked to Arsenal now too. So it's
I don't know. Villa's a funny one, right? I was actually thinking about this midweek. Um, just kind of looking at how the league's shaping out after this season. There's a lot of big Premier League legend departures. And I'm looking at the teams around Arsenal, and I'm not seeing a lot of teams who could probably be as consistent as that. But one team I do see is possibly like shocking a lot of people is Aston Villa, because they've been like slowly building this team of maybe a little bit too much depth. Maybe they don't figure out their right 11. Like if Villa go out and spend a decent amount on a really good transformative player and give it a go for the next couple of years, there's nothing to say that they won't have a shot at the league, in my
yeah,
opinion. If you're looking, like, I'm not sure of Liverpool, I'm not sure of City. I still think, despite the fact that they don't have any European competition, that Chelsea's going to take a couple of years to really figure out what's going on, and that could be wrong. I mean, no season finishing position is just a direct application to how the next season is going to go. Conte came in, and in his first season he won. Arnie came in first season he won. So there's different parameters to that. But as I'm looking at the table, like Villa looks like a promising team that could actually jump up into those higher spots, like a second, third, or maybe even keep pushing. Because Arsenal's going to have it. They're going to be the favorites for the next couple of years. I don't think there's any question about that. Um, but with that being said, I don't think the play style they play currently is conducive to always getting above, say, 90, 85 points. And if you have injuries, key
yeah.
injuries, and maybe just as a collective fatigue that may set in for going second, finally winning and getting over the hump. You never
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. I think United are going to be there. My thing with Villa, I think now they've had a few years. They played European competitions as well,
Hmm.
along with the Premier League. So I'm with you on that. But I think they need to bring in a bit more firepower. And I think some of their guys are getting older. Like you have McGinn,
Hmm.
you have Mings as well. But yeah, I'm with you on it. I think it's a lot of teams now are united of like, okay, are we gonna like do something, and like how their transfer window I think goes, because obviously Casemiro really picked up form near the end and was a big part
Hmm.
for them. And that's the thing I find is a lot of these guys who do end up going to these like Uniteds, these Man Cities, a lot of I mean, obviously there's some who go right away and are fine, but they had trouble settling in, especially at United.
Yeah.
I find a lot of guys. I mean, obviously Bruno Fernandes came in and he was their best player, but I think a lot of other guys have had trouble settling in there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. Arsenal are up there as they should be. Our Arteta's going to get another 1 billion to spend probably, and be still the boring, ugly football that we've all become accustomed to. But yeah,
Yeah, I just feel like I've had this weird feeling that we could be in for a shocking team up the table next season. Because there's so many teams with money nowadays. We saw it with Forest, what they did, what they were able to do the season but prior. Obviously, they didn't finish in a spot that they would have liked. But then thinking of the teams looking around and building, like a Villa or a Brighton, where you just think like, what if one of these years they just have a hot start, and then that momentum carries. Especially with a lot of the teams up the top of the table not looking consistent enough and dangerous enough to really like United, as good as they've looked towards the end of the season, they very well could be good next season, but they've played 40 fixtures. As a club, they've only played 40. That's less than every other team in the league. I would like to think. When you chalk up the fact that they lost their first Carabao Cup, their first FA Cup fixtures, and then just played the other 38 in the league. So they're going to have an adjustment period as well. And Bruno's also not getting younger. Like when you look at Bruno's season this year, when you look at Salah's season the year before, these guys have a clock, and no one is abstained from father time, right? Like it's going to happen at some point, and eventually time will take away your abilities pretty quick. Uh,
no, I agree with that. What was it I saw? What was it the other day? Luke Shaw started 38 games, played 38 games this year.
yeah,
He
it's
did
crazy.
good for
Van
him.
Dyke, yeah, Van Dyke broke the record. That's the same thing I saw it
Yeah,
on. Van
but
Dyke broke the record
Van
as the
Dijk's been
most.
the yeah, but he's
Yeah,
been the best for years. He should be doing that. I'm not. Luke
no, I
Shaw's
know,
been
but it's crazy. He broke John Terry's record for most for starting 38 games in a Premier League season, like the oldest player
yeah.
to do it. So that's pretty impressive. But again, Luke Shaw, that's impressive considering how many injury issues he's had in his career.
So but yeah, I'm Premier League. It's on to the next one. I have to find
I'm ready to move on.
a new streaming platform, or I'll just
Yeah, I
just
hope it's on
another one to
DAZN.
add to the list.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to
yeah,
move on to the England squad?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna let you start because we've been talking off and on about the England squad. I have it up to the side here. And obviously, there's been like a lot of big reactions from talking heads, from pundits. I want to hear your thoughts on this originally.
I think the first one I saw I was surprised about was Maguire. I think obviously he's had his struggles at United, but I think for the most part he's played extremely well for England at big competitions. He's played in big
Hmm.
games. That was like a big shock for me. I think Trent just Real Madrid starter playing consistently the last like few months, and you take Spence who's been in a relegation battle, who's been barely playing. I
Yeah.
just think that for me was the biggest one. I think you're gonna have some people who are like Foden, Palmer. Unfortunately, like yes, Palmer's been playing, but it's just been not produce like Chelsea just haven't been producing anything. Palmer as
Yeah.
well, just kind of you just seen a little lackadaisical. Obviously Foden not your minute. I think Foden was just minutes. I think that was the biggest thing. And when I mean he's kind
Hmm.
of picked it up a little bit, but yeah, I would have to say for me, Maguire and Trent are just the two big ones. Like Trent for me, just obviously I think just crossing was a big thing. Even you could throw him in at midfield, and then I think just Maguire experience and yeah, that was Spence for me. It just seems I don't.
So here's the thing. Like I like Spence. I don't know why Trent's not in the squad at all. We've talked about it before. As much as I love Jarrell Quansah for his Liverpool ties, I'm not exactly sure why he's in here. But like you said, when I first saw it, I was a bit shocked because you're looking at some of the names, And this is my own fault. I had no idea Ivan Toney was having a good season. I don't care for the Saudi league. I'm
He
surprised they
doesn't.
took him, but that's because he
He's
wasn't
not
on my
gonna
radar.
play. I think he's one of those for the knockout stages. You get him in for your penalty shots. I think that was the decision behind that. And this has
Maybe,
been all
but you only
talk.
take three strikers, right?
Yeah,
What if you need
my,
another one?
I mean, you have Kane Watkins. Like Kane's the best number
Yeah,
nine in Europe right
yeah.
now, so I think that's or in the world actually. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. But I was. This is a little just because you were talking about Real Madrid, but I saw
Hmm.
no Real Madrid players made the Spain team. Not one.
Yeah, that was
I
the same
mean,
for the Euros. I think.
yeah, I
I
don't
think for the
know.
Euros they didn't have a Real Madrid player.
Obviously Bellingham's there. I think he's. I'm gonna, but at the same time, like I think Tuchel has an idea of what he wants to do, and it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But yeah, I don't know. Trent for me is just that's I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, like I was surprised when it first came out, right? And then I kind of heard him talk about it on Sky Sports, and I found myself like I don't agree with a fair few on here, right? I found myself like he was a bit endearing. Like England's not won this tournament ever, right? And what he's done is it looks like he's handpicked the exact positions and the exact formation, and he's not tried to fit anyone in anywhere for any reason, despite the talent. So for Cole Palmer and Foden's sake, like personally, I have no problem that he didn't take either of them. That's actually not where my problem comes in. Obviously, they're super, 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 super talented. Um, but he believes that there's been people who have been more informed. I'm looking at the midfield here. Elliot Anderson, Jude, Eze. I like Eze's inclusion.
Yeah,
Henderson's a bit of a head scratcher, but I think he just wants someone in the team who's
he
been there and who's a
Brentford.
leadership
Yeah,
voice. He's a voice.
he's been all right with Brentford. I wasn't too mad about that when people were
Yeah.
saying Palm. My only thing was like Palmer scored some big goals for England, right? So it's
No,
just.
he absolutely did. I just didn't,
Uh,
he was injury ridden. He had performance issues.
and like it's
Um,
Foden, I just don't know. Like I understand him, but he's the one where I'm not the most shocked about or upset because I'm also like, where do you play him? I don't know where you
yeah.
play him in the England team. I'll be honest with you. And like I understand Madueke and Saka on the right. It
Mhm.
makes sense. I'm like you could play him out there, but I also think Foden, even when he was thriving with Man City, was kind of in that cam role where he was really floating. I found a
Mhm.
bunch, and I don't Tuchel. I don't think so. I mean, I may be wrong, but I just feel like his tactics have always been not really around like the floating as much. But
Yeah, like
yeah,
like everyone's gonna stick to their positions. And one thing about a good example of the two right wingers that have been taken here is like both of them played right wing all season. Neither of them have played positions outside of right wing. Maybe they got like a left wing stint
they
at the end of
played the
a game
same.
because they needed it, like because the team needed someone to go out left wing and they were the only one available. But everyone who's been picked has played in their position all season, with the maybe the exception of Tino Livramento. And these are the ones that I'm kind of confused by. Tino Livramento is Lewis Hall's backup, and Lewis Hall didn't make this squad. I clearly can tell that Tino can play both sides, and that's exactly why he's been taken. It's a strange one. Um, and again, I don't know why you don't take Trent. Like if Tony's been taken because like for penalty purposes, I believe that Tuchel sees more than just penalty purposes for him, obviously. But I just don't know why you don't take Trent. He's just such a unique profile. It doesn't mean you have to play him, but
I think if anything, what it could be is Tuchel probably went off. Okay, if I'm gonna take him, I'm gonna play him right back, and defensively he frightens me. If you ask
for
me,
sure that is the reason.
that's got to be the main one. But again, at the same time, like I think really is it Reece James is there too. But I'm
Hmm.
also like you could take Trent over Henderson and say, okay, you know what? If I need him to play midfield and play some forward balls, you could do that as well. But like yeah, I think I understand why, but I'm also like I feel like
He'd be the
he
best passer on the team.
yeah,
That's kind of my issue with it.
and
And
also just the mentality.
I completely understand the mentality and the defensive issues. And if this is a little bit of comeuppance for Trent's last couple of years of laziness, which I do think there's some laziness
Oh yeah.
and some comfort that's set in, and this is the reason for this right here. I completely understand that. And to a certain extent, there have been moments in his last season with Liverpool where I was like, what is he doing to his career if he's going to walk around the pitch and not play defense? With that being said, I've always kept this through line is that if England's losing a game and they need to toss bodies on to send in some crosses, some long balls to pick a lock, I almost feel like you had to take Trent. So that was a bit confusing for me. I'd
It
never
could.
expected him to start for this team. I expected Reece James to start for this team, but again, like Reece
I,
could get injured at any moment.
I just think too,
Bless
like
Reece, he can get injured at any moment.
I just think it's like with Watkins too. He wasn't at the last camp. I'm like, okay, Trent wasn't either, and but then obviously Watkins has picked up for him. I haven't watched Real Madrid that much, but I think he's played like Carvajal hasn't been playing much, if
Hmm.
anything. So I think I was like, okay, you know what? I think Trent gets in there as he should be, and just like, but you know what? We'll see what happens. We could all have we'll have to shut up and we'll see what happens. Who knows? If they go all the way. I think like they Kane
Hmm.
finally showed this year. I think it's been again just he's been better every single year. So, but I
Hmm.
think like for me with Ballon d'Or or for Kane at least, like he's got to like show up now. And the like obviously
Yeah.
like when they played France, what was it, the Euros, and he missed the penalty. I think it was that was the last
Hmm.
time. He's got to like he's got to now show on the biggest stage. But yeah,
He's far
I'm
too good.
interested. And I just think the biggest thing for me with this World Cup is just like the grass is going to be like not as like it's going to be a lot drier. So I think the game's
Hmm.
going to be slower. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these teams adapt to it. And then also just now with all these ads and everything they're bringing in and like killing the flow of the game. That's where
Yeah.
I'm just like, this World Cup's going to be like the most different, I think, and unique that we've seen. And obviously more teams now.
Unique in good and bad ways too, because there's a lot
But,
of storylines
and like,
surrounding it.
you can get into the heat and all that, but they played in Qatar. So it's like,
They had to move
they,
seasons to play in Qatar. Like
yeah,
the
it's,
Heat,
I think
with
these
Heat,
guys
whatever.
know.
Like they'll find a way. They'll do water breaks at the 22nd and 60 whatever
Yeah,
minute
but
if they need to. But
yeah, I'm with you on it. And you know what? It'll be interesting to see. And I like Rashford there. I thought, okay, that was good. I like that.
mhm,
And frick, you could have two Barcelona wingers now at this point on your left wing
yeah,
available, ready to go. So,
what
but
would your starting lineup be if you had to pick it? Like
Kane
what's his starting lineup? Because it looks like it's going to be a 4-2-3-1.
four. So if we're going 4-2-3-1,
It
so
looks
you
like
got.
it will be a 4-2-3-1.
I think you go Kane, Rashford, Saka,
Yeah.
Jude,
Mhm.
Rice, Anderson.
Yeah.
I think you go Reece James, Nico O'Reilly. Center backs, who do you? I think you go Mark Gay.
Man, he took a lot of trust putting John Stones in here because he hasn't played much. Like
I
that's a lot of trust putting John Stones in.
I don't
As
think
whiny as I
you
thought
could.
Maguire's statements were, like John Stones being in there is a bit shocking.
I don't know who the right center back. Who are the other options? You got Stones. You have
Well, Gahey's the left center back,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Then man, Jarrell Kwanzaa just looks like a funny name in there. It would probably have to be John Stones,
I
and then
think
you got
John's yeah,
Dan Burn and Jarrell Kwanzaa behind,
and then I
and
think
Ezra
then
Konsa.
Pickford.
Sorry,
Yeah, then you got Pickford. So yeah, I think their front three, like like
it's probably the
Anderson,
same one
Rice,
I'd pick. Yeah.
Rice, and Bellingham is just that's.
And
I
then you
really
replace them with like Morgan Rogers. I think Rogers had a great season. He'll be good coming off the bench. You got
Rogers
Kobe as
Kobe
a
Manu. Yeah,
like it's
I don't
still
know.
a good team regardless of whether we
The
disagree
back
with it or
line
not. I
scares
like
me
the
a
fact
bit.
that yeah.
The back
I mean the
line
back
scares me a
line's
bit.
scary. It is a little scary.
That's right. I just think McGuire's just got also like that bully presence of he's just like winning. Like as I also think too, it's just like World Cups. You find a lot of teams will play over the top a lot more just because on the fact of like nerves.
Hmm.
That's like a big thing, and it's also just. But you know what? We'll see. I think the biggest thing is from what it looks like they're gonna try and play out of the back because obviously you have John Stones, Gay, and like you could have. Realistically, you could have three. Yeah, you could have three-man city, like three-man city guys in your back line starting.
Yeah. And
And
you know
then
what? Yeah.
Nico Riley's I think he's an okay defender. Reece James is like mixed. You don't, but that's the thing. You don't really have like a Livermento. I don't think he's gonna play that much.
I think I
I
like more. I think I like Jed Spence more than you do. I just don't know if I'm
Jed Spence just
confident,
hasn't
like
played.
super confident with Jed Spence.
He hasn't played that much the last few months though.
He's athletic and he can defend, and it's kind of the same thing you could say for John Stones. Unfortunately, is like why is John Stones in here?
But I do find even when John Stones comes back from injury and all of that, I find he's played fine from what I've watched. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see now. I think it's just up in the air, and I think tactically it'll be interesting to see what how Tuchel has him set up. But yeah, I there's some very strong picks, and then there's also some questionable ones. But I also feel like in the last few like competitions with England, everyone we thought that's going to make it has made it. So I think
Yeah,
he's gone off his plan, his form, and I think it's a change. And England haven't been successful, so I guess we'll see now.
yeah.
And yeah, but yeah, I'm excited, and it'll be cool to see what they do.
And one last comment: both of our clubs don't have a single player in here. Not a single player. There's no Liverpool players, no West Ham players, which I don't mind. I mean, I think Curtis Jones is the only one who had a case. Um,
We talked about it, but yeah, I don't know. He just didn't play enough. I think that's just the biggest thing. Tuchel's
for
got off
sure, I
now.
think he would have been a better inclusion than Henderson if you took away the leadership qualities. But
But
again,
again, at the
the
same time,
leadership qualities are too important.
Spence hasn't played, and he's going too. So again,
Yeah, yeah.
I think Tuchel has a vision. He's sticking to it, and they pay him the big bucks to make the hard decisions. And we gotta if it goes terribly, then he's out, and
I
we're
don't
on to the
mind
next
it.
thing.
I don't mind it. Obviously, there's a couple that I disagree with, but I actually don't mind picking everyone because they're good and specifically at their position in his formation. He hasn't held any punches by leaving out Cole Palmer, Trent, and Foden. But it's and Maguire, obviously.
Yeah.
But
So
I do enjoy that he's looking at it from a different scope and a different lens, other than previous England managers who was just like, let's take him for the name.
yeah, no,
So it'll be interesting. They have a all these big teams. The group won't be much of an issue. It's really how they gel by the time the knockouts start.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what about the Canada squad? We got the prelims that came out,
So I don't think
and
they've actually announced their full team, but I know there's like a Charlotte squad that's there right now. So I think that's kind of what they've been
Mhm.
going with. I think there's actually a couple CPL players may actually be there too. Actually,
Really
I think one guy from Forge got called up, and I think from York or yeah, York.
good for them. I quite like the. I'm looking at it. It's not a bad squad. I don't know how they're gonna lessen this because it looks like they have quite a bit in the prelim squad, but.
Well, Kamal Miller's been left out. Adekube's been left out. Shaquille Marshall's been left out. I think those are
Yeah,
some
Adecook
known.
being left out is crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know where he's playing. I think he's at the Whitecaps actually. But you know what? Again, that I think Herdman, like that Herdman squad, and we saw how they were at the last World Cup. Marsh signed on for another 4 years. I think what he's done is great, and we also have guys now who are playing good minutes in like really good leagues. Obviously, you got Buchanan in Spain, who's been thriving.
Yeah.
Liam Miller's not going to be in the Premier League next year, which is awesome. Kyle
Mhm.
Larin, great form with Southampton.
Yep.
I think Bombito's picking up form. I also saw Promise David is back in shape as well now.
Promise David, Jonathan David. You have a good
Who-
goalkeeper battle between Crepeau, Goodman, and St. Clair. Like
Uh,
this is the deepest Canadian
Strongest.
team we've ever seen,
Yeah.
for sure, without question. And now that there's a lot more mobility in terms of nationalities and where you can move, like we did before the call when I searched this up, Daniel Jebison, I know he was in the England setup when he was younger, and
I
now
don't
he's in
know.
the Canada setup, and I had no idea. So
So we I think Marsh has done his research. He's expanded. He's really like honed in on what he
mhm.
wants. He's intense, and I just think Herdman was kind of I don't know. I didn't mind Herman, but I also just didn't like some of the comments he made in the media leading up to it and
Mm.
all of that stuff. But I'm not. I don't. I've heard Alfonso Davies may not be ready for the opener, but at the same time, we can't lean on him for 100% for our success. And I think
No.
that's where Marsh is he's made kind of. I think giving Davies the armband was the smartest thing. You need like your guy
Mhm.
who's played in the biggest games and he knows
Yeah.
like kind of what to expect in the big games, and but at the same time, like other guys got to step up. And I think it's being at home is going to be huge, and I think they're going to be up for it. And I really like our chances. I really do. And I think I was reading somewhere if we finish first in our group and the Americans finish second, that we play them in the round of
Oh,
32.
you're kidding.
I'm pretty sure
I
there's
don't
one
think we'd
way.
finish first. I mean, I'm just hoping that we finish in a place that gets us into the
I'm going to
next
be
spot.
optimistic. I think we can tie. I think we can at least draw with Switzerland. I think Bosnia and Qatar we can beat. I'm going to be overconfident. I think we can beat Switzerland too. But at the same time, they have some ballers on their team, and Bosnia beat
I mean,
Italy.
yeah. I mean, if you're going to be confident, let's be honest about this. This looks like a Europa League World Cup group. Like it's Switzerland, Bosnia, us, and Qatar. It's a Europa League World Cup group. It's not a hard group, and this is exactly what they need. This is exactly what Canada needs
Because our
because
group
at
lost
the
them.
least, like
Oh,
if you get 4 points in the group stages in this World Cup, you 99, 98% of chance will be going to the next round, regardless of whether that's first, second, or third,
we
right?
played Bosnia opening game, right?
Bosnia, I think we have we may have Switzerland last, which makes me worried. Because if you won a last game where you need something, you don't want to face Switzerland. But
It's because we're
you,
one game at BMO and then two at BC Place. I think we
sorry,
play. We have one game at BMO and then we're two at BC Place.
yeah, yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
fine.
you know
Play on a
what?
better
I'm
field.
yeah.
Play on a better pitch.
The pitch conditions worry me, but you know what? I that's my only thing with this. Is just I don't some of these stadiums switching to grass for the first time, and I don't because it's new grounds teams. It's different,
Hmm.
but gotta have faith. But at the same time, you never know.
I know. It's certainly the most excited that I felt about a Canadian team ever going to the World
Oh
Cup, and I don't
yeah,
have any to
you
choose from. I have last time out, and I have this time. But you know what? The moment that really made me feel like, oh my God, they actually look like they belong here was the first half versus Belgium, where we had the missed penalty, and we actually outplayed a Belgium team that, whether they were coming to the end of their golden generation or not, had a very talented team, and on paper should have killed us. So that going off of that, I just think the group we have, this is the most confident we're ever going to look about a Canadian team at the World Cup for sure.
oh no, I don't know if this. I think it's the best Canadian team there's
It's not
been.
close. It's not particularly close. Close.
There's no
We have so much to pick from. We have so much talent. We have guys like David, Promise David, Jebison, Eustachio. I'm really excited to watch Kone
Is
play.
Flores fit? Is he on the list
Flores is
there?
in there. Marcelo
Yeah,
Flores is in
he
there.
was our best player in the friendly game
Yeah,
against.
you said that. You said that you were really impressed by him. But like,
So
where's what's the other guy's name? He's a winger. Tyjon Buchanan.
yeah,
He'll be in the team. Like we have a
well
lot of.
he starts and then yeah we got I forget our who's our because I think Larea is our left or if Davies isn't fit you play Larea on the left and there's a guy who's playing in Croatia I think who plays on the right.
I would probably forget that name. I mean, Alistair Johnston is there too, and I like
Oh
him
yeah,
quite a
that's
bit.
actually you know what I totally forgot about him. He's fit now too.
I like him quite a bit too.
He starts yeah. You know what we have a great team. I'm very excited and I'm
We have
just
players
happy.
to fit spots. Ali Ahmed, Bombito.
Norwich, yeah, like you got guys in Spain, like yeah,
Because
it's
I'm looking at this team, and we have a better goalkeeper than last time, for sure. Borjan
so
was just not the guy at that level, and we just couldn't find anyone else. And I think we did the 4 or 5 years ago. It was the thing of like, oh, now the people moving back and forth between nationalities is happening. Now we got to get our hands on some of these guys, and Borjan came into the picture, and I think we kind of ignored what we had in the MLS. And not to say Borjan didn't help; he helped immensely with the qualification process. But when you're looking around at each World Cup team, we couldn't compare with that as a goal. And you need a really steady force behind the sticks, between the sticks for something like the World Cup, where one mistake can decide the whole thing. So I'm so excited for it.
we'll have more, yeah. So I'm stoked, and it's almost here.
Hmm.
We're not far. A few weeks.
I know, and we're gonna do a World Cup special soon, and we'll walk through the groups and stuff. We'll talk a little bit more about the squads when all the squads come out. But I'm excited to go through all the groups with you.
I think we should do a lot of top goal scorer prediction, finals
Oh, let's do all
prediction.
the predictions. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can beforehand we'll do a bracket and we'll see which teams we got going in. Hopefully it's better than our team of the season. We picked all the same guys. We picked literally all the same guys for that.
I asked some of my friends too, and a lot of them agreed for the most part. Like it's
It
can't
was
be
pretty
like
easy to yeah.
you kind of have your favoritism where you pick out maybe two or three. You're like, I don't agree with that or
Yeah.
this and that. But yeah, you know what? I think we just picked who played the best individually, and that was it. And you just gotta. It's all perspective. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I wanted to ask you your Champions League preview because I know it looks like confirmed Palace
Oh,
just did win the Conference League. So now
Palace
that's
did?
yeah. So we have Villa with the England superpower continues. Imagine we get I mean
Oh my
Arsenal
God.
in,
Yeah, it would be Villa, Palace, and Arsenal to hold it.
and then
Also,
England
what
win
does
the
that
World
do for the
Cup.
Europa League spots?
I
Like,
don't know.
does that taint our Europa League spots? Because Sunderland was such a cool story to actually get it from
Well,
coming up for the
I think
championship.
they still get it. I think
They still get
it's
it
like
because
yeah,
because Palace would get a Europa League spot
yeah. I don't
if I'm
think they
not
would
wrong
have
about that.
celebrated the way they did when.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. It's even yeah. So Champions League we got PSG Arsenal. I've seen Hakimi has an injury, and Dembele has an injury as well. They're not
Yeah, it's looking
confirmed
weird
out.
going into it. I don't know if PSG's playing their
Uh,
best.
I think
I don't know if
PSG are
PSG's
gonna.
playing their best right now towards the end of the season.
I think they're gonna do it. Again, I'm just number one Arsenal hater out here right now.
No, of
But
course, but like they're the favorites. There's no question PSG are the favorites, but this common thing happens in the finals when, you're a little bit it doesn't feel like Arsenal are outmatched. It just feels like the play style for PSG is more conducive to being positive. But sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes the ball just doesn't go in the back of the net, and Arsenal can take advantage of one, two chances up the field. And this is it. Like this is all they've been working for. They've built this over 7, 8 years with Arteta, maybe 9. I don't even know how long he's been in. And they finally got to the peak in both of their desired things. You got the league and you got the Champions League. So it's this will feel like a culmination for them, and I wouldn't count them out at all. It just feels like PSG is the better team, but it
for
doesn't
sure,
matter when you get to a
right.
final and you
I,
get punched in the face. Like
I think a big thing too is mentality. Obviously, PSG are used to winning, so I think they. My thing is that they understand what they need to do to win, but it's also like
yeah,
Arsenal's on the cloud nine. They're getting their first. They just a lot of the guys are getting their first taste of a title. Okay, we just won the Premier League. We That was extremely difficult, but it's also
hmm
like you're so close to Champions League, so it's
yeah,
also like the extra motivation of like, hey, we just look how we celebrated winning the Prem. What are we gonna do if we win the Champions League? Because now we're
I know.
like you are the top of the top. So again, but I also just find Champions League finals are always. I mean, we can take out obviously some of the bicycle kicks that we've seen and the great goals, but I think for the most part, a lot of time you expect like the games are a bit dry. Teams don't really want to make any mistakes,
Yeah,
and I think Arteta will really push the ugly football we've seen all year, and but
yeah.
then also like PSG, like defensively, like again, like you have Marquinhos, you have Mendes. The only time I've seen him get skinned was Olise. That's been the only player, and I don't think Saka's
Mhm.
or Madueke is anywhere near the level of.
Let's be honest. If PSG are clicking at all cylinders,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should win this.
they
They
should
should win
win.
this game.
But again,
They
it's
are the better
Champions
attacking
League.
team.
No,
They are more fluent. Like they can be positionless at times, and also as good as Arsenal are at locking up at the back when it's not going their way. You just never know with this team. You got Kvaratskhelia and Doué and Dembele who can all create something out of nothing. So it's gonna be a
Coutinho.
good game. I hope it's gonna be a good game. But
Yeah,
I if I had to pick anyone, and maybe this goes along the lines of what you said about like not being used to winning. Like Arsenal just won the title in the Premier League, but that doesn't mean they're good in finals. And we saw what happened in the Carabao Cup final against City, where they should have played better. Let's be
yeah.
honest. I know they lost, and there's a way of losing, and that's not the way of losing. Because if you're top of the league the entire season, you don't want to look decidedly second best against City in that sort of game, whether it's a Carabao Cup or not, whether you have Kepa in net or not. So
Yeah,
this is it
I
for
think,
them. It's a big one. They could come up and rise to the occasion, but I would trust PSG more for sure.
and there's a high probability it's 0-0 after 120 minutes. We go to if there's a final that we're going to penalty shootout, it would be this one. I would.
You think
I.
so? PSG are just so dangerous, man. I don't know.
You know
I
what?
think
Both.
Arsenal need one. They at least need one if this is going to go to penalties. That's my
It's just
thinking
gonna. It's
behind
gonna
it.
be a center back or fullback scores, and then it's just gonna be
Oh, could
no.
you imagine?
No.
Could you imagine Arsenal win it with a one corner and winning it 1-0? It's certainly within the realm of possibility. They didn't play well against Burnley. They haven't really played. They've gotten the result, and
Yeah.
that's the thing that scares me a little bit with them. Despite not playing well, they've gotten results. The problem with the final is it's so emotionally up here that I don't know if you can keep that sort of same calmness in
I
that
mean,
sort of occasion.
finals too. You need some luck to go with it. We both
Yeah,
know they're world
always
class
do.
teams. They're in the final for a reason. I'm not taking anything away from either of them, and I think it's just literally all just depends on bounces, 50-50 tackles, who wins the
hmm
second ball more possession wise. Also, you got to remember these guys are exhausted, and now you're also on the top. They've been boozing, I would say, both of them probably a little bit. So I think not that it's going to play a huge factor, and they also have the best
hmm
recovery and the best physiotherapists and massage therapists and all of that sorts. But I think it's just mentally who can get up for it more, and again mistakes, who fewer mistakes, and that's pretty much it. But I think both of them will be very cautious. But I think Luis Enrique is going to have them like it. I don't know. Again, PSG are there for a reason, and I think look at who they've beaten to get to where they are. So that's why I'm with you on. I'm taking PSG. I'm
Me
PSG
too.
for
If
it.
I had to pick one, I had to pick
Yeah,
PSG.
but
And I think their
either
players are
way,
more overall. If we're talking about like a long, tenuous season,
yeah,
they've had more rested players. Like Dembele won the French Player of the Year award, and I think he's only started a handful, like two handfuls of games in the league, because they can
yeah,
afford to.
he's been
They
so
can
good.
afford to. Arsenal can't. In the
So
Premier League, they can't.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you have anything else you wanted to cover? Is that I think that's pretty much it. I know we're just absolutely
yeah. I
excited for the
think
World Cup.
maybe are we gonna have one next weekend? You think we'll do a coverage, maybe the World Cup preview next weekend, or because I'm thinking it starts the fall. It's June 11th, right?
June
Is that
11th or June 12th, I think, is when it actually starts.
um? So let's just see, because yeah, we'll have this one out. So yeah, maybe this weekend. Yeah, I can think as we'll figure
This
it out.
weekend or
But
next week, we'll figure it out. But you should. This will be coming up. A nice large. It'll be a longer form podcast, and we're going to talk about every single team in the 48 team field. So I'm excited for that. Um, it'll be exciting. I can't wait for this tournament to get started. It's the tournament I wait for every 4 years. There's a bit of distraction with the U.S. with some annoying stuff that I'd rather even not address, but this is it, man. International football, it doesn't get better than this, than the World Cup.
Messi back to back.
Boy, I'm so excited to watch Messi play again because I don't watch him in the MLS.
I
Just
do.
like Saudi League, I don't care enough for it. I'll watch the odd game, like I watched the final last season. Um, but yeah, boy, everyone's returning. Mbappe's back.
I think he's gonna come out and just. I mean, we've seen what he did the last World Cup, and I also just think all the turmoil and media coverage Real Madrid have been getting, like
Mhm.
the obviously that comes with playing there, but it's just been amplified to a whole other level. But yeah, we'll save that for then. But yeah,
Yeah,
let us know who you think wins Champions League this weekend. I'm actually curious to see.
absolutely.
We're gonna have some Arsenal haters in the comments.
Yeah, we've carefully cultivated them clearly in the last 7 podcasts.
Yeah, if you're an Arsenal supporter, I don't know if you'll like this. This
I think there's a couple who still watch, but I don't know if they
probably.
like what we say.
I like to give my Arsenal friends, or I was just sending them memes all year and went around. They win the title and West Ham get relegated. So eating my own words.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, boys. We are done for this week. We will see you either next week or the week after. We haven't decided yet, but we will see you for the World Cup preview. Thank God that season's done. Thank God.
Say that again. Yeah.
Let's talk about some World Cup.
On to Millwall away.
Absolutely. Peace,
Yeah.
guys.
Peace.